And welcome to another edition of the New Sports Outlaws podcast. As always, I am Neil and this is Dan. Dan, as you can tell, my voice is much better. Not perfect yet. It is much better than it was last week. The sinus infection that also caused laryngitis has started to leave my body, and in the nick of time because the Knicks are toast, and we have some other things to talk about besides the Knicks collapse of a season. We are not going to collapse this podcast. Dan, how are you doing this week?
Collapse. I think you're a little jumping the gun over there. All of a sudden, last week we were Eastern Conference champions. We're great. Haven't been there in 20 years. All of a sudden, it's a collapse. All of a sudden, we're back to fire Tibbs. All of a sudden, that's all coming back, and you haven't even lost it yet. Otherwise, I'm doing great. It's good. Obviously, as a anti-Knicks person, I'm not totally upset to see them down 3-1. But of course, you're gonna be the one to say that it's over, and I'm gonna be the one that's probably gonna say it's not over. But I'm gonna be the troll, I guess. But I'm trolling, I guess, if I say it's not over. Otherwise, I'm doing good. We got the other conference finals. We can maybe touch on that a little bit. We got some Mets and Yankees. Let's go.
I have a question for you before we start. Do you realize what next week is?
All right. Next week we're in June next week. So we're in June. It starts off. Next week. Where are we next week? Are we in fantasy? Are we in fantasy
It's
fantasy
boxing
rankings?
season. You sandbagging son of a bitch.
See, I almost had it. I was right there. I had it.
Yeah, so I got to think of something to make me happy, and as you can tell, fantasy football makes me happy. So I got to think of something to make me happy to distract me from this Knicks disaster, as I alluded to in my open. Listen, it's a step further than they were at last year, but there's no excuses here. I know the team changed a lot. I get it, but they are arguably supposed to be better than they were last year. They had Indiana on the ropes last year when OG got hurt. So now you're telling me you added what's supposed to be a better wing defender to replace DiVincenzo in Bridges. You want to say that's the wash. And then you added Cat, and Randall didn't even play last year, and they had the Indiana Pacers on the ropes. Now you're telling me with Cat and Bridges and only DiVincenzo last year, that makes the difference, and now the Knicks are going to lose. They're that much worse. I don't think Indiana didn't do anything from last year to this year. They're the exact same team. So listen, I got to tip my hat. It's going to hurt me whenever they finish this off. I mean, my pick was Knicks in 7, so I guess it's still alive,
Take it to
as
the bank.
Tom Gower would say. But I'm not optimistic. I don't like the way they've played. They throw the ball away too much. It's just basketball illogical. I am also aggravated real quick before I give you the mic to you, with the Knicks fans calling up and flipping out about Josh Hart, because the same people that are flipping out, he's a turnover machine, get him out of the game, are the same fans 2 nights earlier were like, look at him, he's the best rebounding guard in the game. He keeps so many plays alive that you don't expect. Listen, you got to take the good with the bad. And there's a reason he's bounced around with so many teams.
Yeah, I think that's just more kind of recency bias. And Josh Hart, he did look it like handling the ball. He's normally not that loose with the ball. He did look really bad for whatever weird reason, whatever it was. Um, but yeah, like I said, the same fans I called up when they were showing that replay of him getting that rebound at the end of the game looked like he jumped through on a trampoline to get that rebound, last 2 rebounds, to pretty much steal the game. Um, it just seems like again with the Knicks, and I think we talked about this when we were talking about Detroit. Um, that they're especially their starting 5 is just not something is not right. There are a lot of talent, a lot probably next to OKC the best talent left in I guess of the 4 teams in the playoffs. I mean, I guess whatever that means. Maybe between OKC, but obviously they're more talented than Indiana, and they have definitely the 2 best. It just seems like, and obviously this series it's come to fruition that Cat and Brunson did something's not right there. And it's no coincidence that Cat always does a lot better when Brunson's on the bench. And it seemed like, especially that fourth quarter in Game 3, where he scored 20 points in the fourth quarter with Brunson on the bench. I don't know why they don't do more Brunson Cat pick and rolls. I don't know if it seems like maybe Cat's just an ISO player and he's just great at it, which he is. Maybe both Cat and Brunson are just really good at their one thing. Like Brunson's a really good ISO player. Cat's a really good ISO player, elite ISO player. And it seems that whatever is not gelling, and then all of a sudden after Game 3, we thought, oh my God, they found the elixir. They found everything. Oh, we're going to play DeLon, Wright, Landry, Shamet. We're going to play all them, Deuce McBride. And they led the great comeback. And they did play good defense. And with no Brunson and no Cat was on the board. No Brunson, they played better defense. And then all of a sudden, it didn't work too well in yesterday's Game 4. So then all of a sudden, it was back to Brunson. And I thought in the Boston series, you guys kind of found a little bit of a formula with Bridges, especially during those outside Brunson minutes, where he was the one that was kind of taken over. And seems like he hasn't done that. He's kind of disappeared. I kind of feel like he's almost lost his role again. It just, something's just not right. And again, I don't think it's over. I think Brunson, who's had probably his worst 2 games almost in a long time as a Knick, these last 2 away games, he's obviously, I think he has to put the team on his back, and I think he will. I think he definitely goes over 30, 35 in tomorrow's game, and he's going to have to. But I do think defensively, they need to just put OG on Halliburton and just do it that way and have him bump him a little bit. Because Bridges is just getting picked off by every pick and roll, and Halliburton looked so comfortable in that game. You don't just go a 30-point triple-double and no turnovers. That's insane. And I know he's really good, but come on, you're supposed to have the wing stop defenders out there. There's no excuse for that. But the defense, they just can't stop them. And I want to. Cat's just dumb on defense. Cat's a bucket. It's crazy. He'll get you a bucket anytime, but he just can't play defense. He can't jump. He can't. It's unbelievable how
No,
it works.
no. I mean, it's funny you say that something's just not right because my closing question for the Knicks was going to be to you, or at least like something that we're going to look for when this season is all over, is that I didn't realize it during the regular season. I understand they struggled against the good teams, but it's not something I don't think a lot of people realize until right now, at this moment. The first time I'm asking myself, what should we do? Because this starting five doesn't work well together. I mean, you have listen. Brunson can score. He's Captain Clutch. He was voted the most clutch player in the NBA. Cat can score at will. I can't stand his, hook the arm on a 6'6" guard that's guarding him, but he can score and he can shoot from deep for as big as he is. I get that, but this is the first time this season I'm watching this team and going, you know, what can we do? Because I don't think the starting five works, and it's not as simple as saying, well, let this one play with the second unit and this one play with the first unit, because you have 2 alpha guys, as sassy as Cat is, that are looked at as all stars. And to take one, it's not like saying I'm going to put Josh Hart on the bench. I don't even think it's like saying Mikal Bridges to the bench, because I think I agree with you that I thought he'd be a good leader for that second unit. That being said, it's not as easy as those names to just say, I'll go throw Cat on the second unit. Or in the end of the game, we're throwing Jalen with the second unit. One of them is not going to be on the floor then in the fourth quarter. And who do you take off the floor? The guy who was voted most clutch? Or you take off the guy that can score at will at his size? So it is a question that we're going to be
It,
asking ourselves.
it's also weird that there was a whole thing with Mitchell Robinson in Game 2 where he played basically all of Towns' minutes in that fourth quarter
Yeah.
in Game 2, I think it was. And there was a whole thing with the starting lineup and the whole thing. Josh Hart said, I'll go to the bench so Mitch can start. And he started Game 3 and then Game 4. And I feel like he didn't play as many. I would have to check his minutes. I don't think he barely, like the second half, he barely got in the second half of that last game. And I don't know if that's just. I don't know if at least Tibbs is trying. I know people are saying he's stubborn before, like he's going to do his thing and nothing else. You can't fault him for not trying, but again, you had like 70 games in the regular season to try stuff out, and I almost think like it's not malpractice, but like, all right, I know they're veterans too, so they get it. It's not like they're rookies. DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, even Campaign to a certain point. Just to throw them out there and all of a sudden think it's going to happen. And they're veterans, they get it. But it's almost like they're just trying something and it's not working. Indiana, it's just their offense is just flowing for the most part. Halliburton has full control out there. And even TJ McConnell, that little jitterbug that keeps going around giving fits to the Knicks all the time, it's a problem. I think they might have to. It's not going to be a defensive thing. They're going to have to outscore them somehow offensively, less turnovers, that kind of thing, and it's going to have to be high scoring because I don't see them low scoring
I
the
have a
rest of.
novel idea. How about we stop switching on 3-point shooters? I'd rather tell me that we lose because we're letting them have free reign to the basket, or hope that they run into somebody, or Mitchell's down there. We keep doubling off 3-point shooters. I mean, why are these guys wide open? Stay with the shooters. Stop. This is high school. I teach high school girls this. Stop leaving the shooter wide open. You can play help defense without leaving them 15 feet open. You can't keep doing that. And you have to step out on assassins like Halliburton. You can't give him 4 feet and think, oh, I'm going to throw my hand out his face. He's going to sink the shot. It's not going to be because of your hand waving in his face that's going to stop him like that from 5 feet away. So that's just something that frustrates me from coaching, high school girls, is that I watch us double off of 3-point shooters constantly. I'd rather you give them the dunk. Give them the dunk because the dunks added the 2-pointers. Take all those 3-pointers away, make them all 2-pointers. You win the game. You win the game if you stop them from shooting those threes.
That just shows, I think, how little um, trust that I guess OG and Mikel or whoever the wings are at the time had for Jalen Brunson or Cat down there because, like you said, they've been doing this all year too. This wasn't just like a Indiana thing. There's a whole thing with Boston when they were struggling with Boston. All Boston would do is drive, kick it out, Derek White three or whoever it is, and they've been doing this all year. It's just really biting them right now, and they have no solutions right now.
Let them drive. Try to play one-on-one the best you can. You either foul, they make it, or they miss it. But stop giving them 3-point opportunities. That's just all I got to say. Real quick, do you think OKC finishes up tonight in Oklahoma City? Or
Yeah, and I think they do it in convincing fashion. I think it seems like it's their time after a few years of are they ready to do it? Is Shea ready? Is that whole thing with Sam Presti being the best general manager in forever, like getting all those draft picks? Is it finally? I think it's finally. It looks like it's their time. With they gotta their starting five is really. We say the Knicks starting five is really good. That starting five for OKC is really really good. Um, I think it's their time this year. And no matter who they would pay, whether it would be the Knicks or the Pacers, I think they take them out in 5 games too. I think it's just their time. They're really good. I think they blow out the Wolves, which is about to start right now.
yeah, I think the kid. I didn't realize the kid Williams was as good
Jalen
as.
Williams is really good, really, really good.
Okay. Speaking of insane, how insanely bad is
Oh,
Juan
oh,
Soto?
oh.
I got numbers for you. He's
Yeah.
batting a beefy. This was before today's game. 224. Is it down to 222?
It might be 220. It's in the 220s. That's good enough.
Okay.
220s is
So
good.
before today's game, or maybe in the middle of today's game, I was doing our notes for tonight, and he was batting 224. He had 8 homers and 25 RBIs, which is not too good. I want to say the home runs are tied for 55th in MLB. I'm glad his groundbreaking salary is equivalent to home runs. And if I sound like a bitter Yankee fan, stick it where the sun don't shine, Juan Soto.
Yeah. I we eventually, so obviously Yankee fans were looking. I mean, as a Yankee fan myself, I guess I'm no better than the mentality that Tommy Lugauer loves to talk about. in being the little brother because we're watching the Mets. Hey, I am catching myself right now, even just looking. Like I'll look on ESPN to see when Juan Soto is going to be up. I'll change to the Met game really quickly for like 5 minutes. Watch Juan Soto strike out, fly out, do something, and then I'll turn back to whatever else is on. And it's I know we don't think it's going to happen forever, but like we have to enjoy right now that Juan Soto's batting 220. Anthony Volpe has a better average than Juan Soto right now. Even though Volpe's, I think he's got the most RBIs in the American in the shortstop right now. But he just looks terrible. I believe he's 0 for his last 17. Ever since that thing happened with it went off high up, that almost grand slam that he had on, I think against the Dodgers on Sunday Night Baseball. Um, it just looks bad, and they all talk about the Soto shuffle. Is it back? I know he's done it a couple times. Obviously, it hasn't done too much. He's running past people in the base paths. I'm not sure if you heard about that yesterday. The whole thing with Nimmo, and he thought it trapped it, and he's running past people. That would have been a hit instead because he had to run past Nimmo. That's not a hit. Whatever. That's the dumbest rule ever. But it's just, as a Yankee fan, I don't care how much trolling it is or how much little brother mentality it is. You don't leave the Yankees for the Mets, and all of a sudden, like, it doesn't happen, and then expect it to be like easy out there. And it's great to see him bat 220. The Mets are winning. That's great. That's good for whatever. Soto's batting 220. It's wonderful to see.
The Mets are winning, but not as much as they were. They had a nice little cushion on the NL East, and now have given it back. Philly has overtaken them, and don't look now, but that image in your rearview mirror that is larger than it appears is the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta is not going to go quietly. They dug themselves a pretty big hole to start the season, but I still believe they're one of the best teams in the NL. They have a great pitching staff
Acuna.
just now
Acuna's
starting
back.
healthy,
Acuna.
and
Acuna.
Strider's back, and I believe that they will right the ship, and the Mets have their work cut out for them. Listen, I think it'd be easier. I don't think I listen. I know he went to the Mets, and that's never happened before, but it's the Met fans. It's my vice principal at school. It's the it's my other social studies teachers, two of them who are Mets fans, who just like, hey, look, he picked the Mets. Hey, we're big brother now. He's like, that's what gets me aggravated. Juan Soto himself, he catches strays because we as Yankee fans can't stand these Met fans. We're like, It's like, congratulations, you won the World Series in November when you signed, or December when you signed him. Congratulations. I'll take it next October.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd love to think that Soto's going to. He's going to come out of it. I'm sure he will eventually. I mean, I hope not, but at this very moment, he is batting 220, and he's on the first year of a whatever 15-year, 800 something $1 million contract. So just to see the Met fans squirm a little bit, even though Evan Roberts and Tommy Lugauer are putting up a good front on the radio, they're like, "Oh yeah, we trust in positive Tommy, and don't make any plans for October because I will lead a shut up." Soto sucks. Gonna keep going.
I root for the same basketball team as Mr. Lugauer, and his positivity hasn't helped us there. And I don't think it's going to help the Mets this year either. But speaking of a World Series in October, our New York Yankees have looked pretty good. I mean, they got a big test coming up this weekend. They're going to go play the Dodgers. And we were just talking off air before we started recording that it's the return for the injury for Aaron Judge. Dan, I would DH him for all 3 days.
Aaron Boone would get killed if he put him out there and then something happened. That it's obviously not his fault. But I mean, Aaron Boone would just get killed for that. And of course, that was the big thing that derailed the Yankee season pretty much 2 years ago, was that big toe that was heard around the world. Um, so yeah, they're going to put him in right field, but it's also big on the thing that the Mets just played the Dodgers and they actually took 2 out of 3. So obviously, Yankees got to follow that up and at least take 2 out of 3, or else we're going to hear from the Met fans again for whatever reason. But again, I think the Yankees they're rolling right now. Pitching staff is absolutely rolling right now. Our 4 starters, pretty much, besides Will Warren, I mean Rodon, Schmidt, Freed, Yarborough, who's come out of nowhere, who just got signed off to scrap heap from Tampa Bay, I believe. He's been fantastic for us. Um, Bellinger and Volpe have stepped up. Goldschmidt's still batting. Devin Williams, I think he struggled a little bit yesterday in his closer's role because Luke Weaver was unavailable, but he did close the game. I believe we're at 4 straight right now, going for the sweep of the Angels with Clark Schmidt on the mound. But we're just rolling right now. The rotation is rolling. Yankees are rolling. We're 7 up, I believe, in the division already. Tampa's the next one, and no one believes in Tampa. Right now, it just seems like a 2-horse race for the American League between the Tigers and the Yankees at this point. Obviously, we're not scared of the Tigers. Their pitching staff is legit, though. But, no one's scared of the Tigers, but the Yankees are looking good right now.
And even though there's no true fifth starter on this team, don't look now, but Luis Gil will be pitching off a mound this week. That excites me. The kid was electric last year. I like that Loizaga looks like he's finding the old Loizaga. I think he is one of the more underrated pieces we have in that bullpen. I do like Williams to Weaver. And I don't mind giving Williams the chance to close on odd days where Weaver's pitched 3 in a row. I got to go to somebody else. Or we needed Weaver for 6 outs yesterday. I'll go to Williams today for the close. I don't mind that. Make Weaver 1A closer, and you could say Williams is a far 1B/8th inning guy. That's the recipe I would go with. And Johnny Lasagna mixed in with Leiter and Hill and all those guys. But yeah, I think that the Yankees are rolling. They're the first team to go have an over 100 run differential. They're at plus 112. And they are the second hottest team in baseball right now in the last 10 at 8-2.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say. It's a big series coming up. Hopefully, finish up the sweep. Get some rest. I'm pretty sure we have Freed going that game 1 against the Dodgers, so that'd be a good little matchup between Otani and the rest of them that are over there. And yeah, let's keep taking care of business. This is kind of the role I think we were kind of waiting for. When I said, I believe a few weeks back, I said we're like in a little malaise as we're kind of just going through the motions in the regular season. Now that we're going to be in June next week, looks like the weather's going to be, they're on the West Coast, but the weather's going to be a lot nicer here next week. It looks like we're kind of starting to keep going and get on the train because the tracks get off the train. What is it? Get off the tracks because the train's coming through Butthead or whatever that is. Whatever that is.
And as you say, finish the series here. Let's finish this podcast on a normal note for us. Recently, there is no official Aaron Rodgers news. But he was on the McAfee podcast the other
No
day.
doubt. No.
Or was it McAfee where he alluded that, or no, it wasn't McAfee, it was something else though, where he was doing an interview where he asked a question and he said that he alluded to the fact that he was going to play the Bears at some point this year, which made everyone think, oh, it must mean he's almost ready to sign with the Steelers because they play the Bears this year.
That was his head. I didn't even hear that. Yeah, and they're making a big thing of that OTAs just started. So all of a sudden, he didn't show up for OTAs. Yeah, of course he didn't show up. He's not on a team. He's not even on a team. Where is he gonna go?
You saw that Barstool video?
Yeah.
Where he stay together. He's not signed there.
He's definitely whatever personal stuff he's got going on. He's gonna be skipping halfway through training camp. Sign with the Steelers. There's no way the Steelers can't know. They just gotta know. Like it would be such a mistake or such a not Tomlin thing to not know what's going on and to go in with Mason Rudolph as your starting quarterback out there wouldn't be good.
I think that's their plan, and they're very far, far, far away. Emergency only breaking of emergency plan is either trading for Kirk Cousins or hoping they decide to cut him when they promised they wouldn't. I think that's all they could be thinking about. But we'll have a lot more time to talk about football. I swear to you, as the calendar turns to June, I am going to start ramping up my research and information on our future fantasy football teams and football leagues. So we have that to look forward to.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll definitely do positions by positions. I'm sure that's coming up, and we'll do probably by July. I'm assuming that kind of like when basketball is done, and football's not really started yet, and baseball kind of gets like, oh my God, it's July, so no one's really paying attention to baseball really starting in July. So like it sounds like a perfect month to do a whole basically month plus of all positions and all that stuff. Yeah, so
Especially
that'll be
once,
fun.
especially once the Knicks are officially out of it. Now I can
Yeah, so
on the Yankees.
all right. So for our next podcast, we could start our quarterback rankings. Now the Knicks will be out of it. You can start our quarterback rankings. Aaron Rodgers will be up there somehow, even though he won't be on a team. Aaron Rodgers will be up there somewhere, top 10 probably in your rankings. So yeah, keep following us on X, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Keep those likes and comments coming. Until next time, I'm Danny the Neil, signing off.